Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this meeting of Mid-Suffolk District Council Cabinet. I'm Councillor Andy Mellon, leader of Mid-Suffolk District Council, and I'll be chairing this meeting. May I first of all remind you of some domestic arrangements. Please ensure that microphones are turned off when not in use, that you do not interrupt other speakers. Please switch off all mobile phones or turn them to silent. If the fire alarm should sound, please leave the meeting room by following the fire exit signs and meet on the Ipswich Town Football Club training pitch. Do not re-enter the building until you are told it is safe to do so. And finally, we'll be using e-voting for this meeting on the modern.gov app. So please, could members make sure they are logged in and ready to use the app. I would like to remind everyone present that this meeting will be broadcast live to the internet and will be capable of repeated viewing. The whole of the meeting will be filmed, except where there are confidential or exempt items. If you make a representation to the meeting, you'll be deemed by the Council to have consented to being filmed. By entering this meeting as a speaker, you're also consenting to being recorded by the Council and to the possible use of those images and sound recordings for webcasting and or training purposes. The Council, members of the public and the press may record, film, photograph or broadcast this meeting when the public and the press are not lawfully excluded. If you're intending to do so, please could you inform the committee clerk. Can I move to the agenda, please? Item 1, apologies for absence.
Thank you, Chair. We have received apologies from Councillor Richard Winch.
Item 2, to receive declarations of pecuniary, other registrable or non-registrable interests by members. Are there any declarations of interest? Appears not. Item 3, paper MCA/23/50, to confirm the minutes of the meeting held on the 4th of March 2024. Are there any points regarding the accuracy of those minutes? If not, can I have a proposer, please? Councillor Weller, and a seconder, please. Councillor Eburn. Thank you. The Governance Officer will now conduct the vote.
Thank you, Chair. Members, that vote is now in progress. Thank you, members. That's 5 votes for. That's unanimous.
Thank you. Item 4 on the agenda is to receive notifications of petitions in accordance with the Council's petition scheme.
None received, Chair.
Thank you. Item 5, questions by councillors.
None received.
And item 6, matters referred by the Overview and Scrutiny or Joint Audit and Standards Committees.
There are no matters referred, Chair. Thanks.
Thank you. Item 7 is the forthcoming decisions list, which is on the Council's website. Are there any comments or questions on the forthcoming decisions list? Councillor Eburn.
Thank you, Chair. For May, there will need to be added to the forthcoming decisions list a paper about setting up a hardship fund. So that's currently in progress, but that will need to be added in due course. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any further comments? Okay, we'll move on to item 8. This is the only substantive item on the agenda. Paper MCA/23/51, the Job Management IT System for Building Services. Now, this report contains confidential appendices. If members wish to question and debate the appendices, the meeting will go into a closed session before the debate. But I'll now invite the Cabinet Member for Finance and Resources to introduce the report on behalf of Cabinet Member for Housing and Property.
Thank you, Chair. So this paper that you've got before you is the Job Management IT System for Building Services. So firstly, I'd like to thank officers for their work on this. There's been a lot of behind-the-scenes work, particularly in the building services area, over the last 6 to 12 months or so, as we work to improve Mid-Suffolk systems. As we know, the current systems are not working well, and this has contributed towards a service in need of improvement, as well as incurring increased costs. Repairs and maintenance of our council homes is of paramount importance. We must provide tenants with a reliable service and ensure all issues are promptly dealt with and resolved. There have been too many delays, too many repairs not completed, and consequently too many complaints. We are letting our tenants down, and we should be doing all we can to ensure they have secure and comfortable homes, as well as looking after the council's assets. A key part of this is our job management system, which we don't currently have, and this needs to work to ensure that a tenant only has to contact us once and is enabled to book an appointment straight away, ensures the right work is programmed to fix the right issue, reduces the need for the tenant to have to chase for answers and action, and most importantly, improves the satisfaction rate so that the tenant feels their priorities have been met with regards to the repair and maintenance of their own home. The existing systems are not fit for purpose, and so having gone through a tendering process, this report recommends a solution of Total Mobile Connect. This is a system used by many councils around the country, and many housing associations, such as Orwell Housing in our area. The costs for the system, shown in paragraph 6, are all in the current budget and include costs for a project manager and business analyst. As 6.1 mentions, there may be some other costs associated with this. However, they are being looked at in the overall management of the building services operation as we go through improvements and transformation there. Once the 12-month implementation period is complete, there will be no additional staff costs. However, we won't expect to see immediate savings due to still having to work through a backlog of repairs, but we do expect to see a payback from implementing this system in time, and we will be working with officers to quantify this over time. Again, with the other work in hand, this will be assessed in the overall building services plan. Finally, it's imperative that the contract management is very carefully monitored by officers to ensure it stays to time and to budget, and ultimately provides us and our tenants with an effective job management system. Chair, I'd like to propose the recommendation at 3.1 and ask for a seconder. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Eban. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Davis.
Yeah, happy to second.
Thank you. We've heard the introduction of why this new system is important. We have David White with us, who's the Housing Transformation Manager. Are there any questions from Cabinet members on this report and on the introduction of this new system? Well, while you're thinking of questions, I'll ask one then, David. In terms of the existing provision in this area, are we basically saying we don't have anything that does the job that this new programme will do?
That's correct. So we do have a light version on our current housing management system, but it doesn't. The functionality of that is not. It's nowhere near what we're proposing to implement and what we actually need to provide services for customers. We can't book appointments at first point of contact, and the resources required after the job are not easily scheduled or planned either.
So, supplementary to that then, clearly we're using a lot of contractors to do some of this repairs now. Will this system sort of mesh well with their systems in terms of, booking their people in at certain time slots and that kind of thing?
Yes, so the whole project is chunked up into 3 phases. The first phase is focused purely on our responsive repairs and our own internal DLO. The second phase is around our voids and any sort of capital projects, so kitchens, bathrooms, windows, etc. And the third phase is going to enable us to have a contractor portal, so any contractors that we procure to deliver any work that, any extra and over work that we're not able to deliver ourselves or we need extra resources for, this new software will feed into, it's got universal APIs and will feed into any future contractors or any current contractors that we use. so that yes, we can keep track of all of our customers' appointments and completion times and satisfaction levels as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Councillor Eburn.
Yeah, so just to come back on that as well, this system is used very, very widely, and is one of the sort of best known amongst from other councils in terms of what they're trying to deliver. So I think rather than, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here, we are trying to get the best possible system we can to really improve what we're doing.
Councillor Stringer.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, thank you for the report. The report is very easy to follow and very logical. Our current job per day rate is below national average. When this software is implemented, and there'll be obviously a bit of bedding in time, how soon after implementation of this do you think our job per day rate will increase?
I wouldn't like to commit to a kind of month in time, unfortunately, because I think we're doing this alongside the kind of transformation of the DLO. As Councillor Eburn mentioned before, we do have a backlog of repairs, which obviously we will need to get through. There will also be a decision that needs to be made around what we do with that backlog of repairs. Do we manage them, in the current system that we've got, or do we move them into the new system? So that all needs to be worked out as part of the project implementation. It will increase the day rate, the jobs per day rate. I think the other key point to mention is around our data. So even though we can report on what we've got now, the accuracy and the integrity of that data due to kind of system capabilities, but also kind of end user. So this isn't just about an IT project. This is going to be very much a kind of catalyst for culture change within the service itself, and that's going to be needed if this project is going to be a success. So yes. So in short, we will definitely be able to report more accurately what our job per day rate is, and we expect it to increase to at least the average.
Thank you, David. Any further questions? Councillor Weller. I should say that Deborah Fenton is actually online if we need to ask her anything, but David's here, I guess, to answer in person.
Thanks, Chair. I know that we've been briefed on this previously, but I'm just going to ask the question again, so that we've got it sort of on the record a bit more. And that's that with the introduction of a new system, sometimes when they're bespoke in the way that this one is, if sort of modifications are required, often we have to go back to the manufacturer, to the IT producer to make those changes for us. But you gave us an assurance in the earlier briefing that in-house modifications would be possible if needed. And is that something you're still able to give us an assurance about?
Yes, that was actually one of the selling points of this particular product. So much so that, as I say, the chunked up phases of the project, we should be able to implement the last phases on our own without any external kind of influence or support. And the system is very, very configurable to individual kind of organisations, processes and practices. So although it provides an off-the-shelf best practice kind of model, we can tweak it and change it if we need to as well. So.
I'd just like to say, I think it's really important that we've got state-of-the-art facilities to be able to deliver these vital services to our tenants and to ensure that our housing stock's maintained in a good way. So it feels like it's overdue. It feels like it's welcome from the team, and hopefully we'll be able to see some, deliverable marked improvements from bringing it in. But I think some of the concerns that I might have had we've raised in our previous briefings, and again today that was my most significant one. Just thinking about other big IT installations that we've had in this council and others have had, where there's been concerns with implementation of them and then the use of them later. They've not really delivered, and we've been kind of a bit hamstrung in terms of what we've been able to do to make remedial changes to them because of the supplier. But I think with that assurance, I'm more than cautiously happy that this is going to be a really positive move for us and for our tenants.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to contribute to the debate? Councillor Eburn.
Thank you, Chair. I agree with my colleague, Councillor Weller, but I think I think given what we've seen over the past year, particularly with the need to have to do additional or put additional resources into repairs and the amount of complaints that we've got from tenants of work just not being done or having to be redone again, and just not having that full picture, being able to understand that. I think this system is really imperative in terms of understanding that. But most importantly, I think we really, really need to ensure that we can do the best for our tenants and ensure that their homes are fit for purpose. And without them being able to kind of book in an appointment, like you can do in other aspects of your life for getting repair done on your house, and being confident that repair will be done or that someone will respond to that, I think that's really is vitally important for our tenants, kind of just peace of mind, if nothing else. But also from a financial and resource perspective, we've really got to carefully manage this contract and make sure we maximise it, and that we don't get any kind of overruns or whatever, and that we are able to ensure that our officers can take on this system going forward. And I look forward to kind of having the discussion about what it's delivered for us in the next sort of 9 months or so. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, well, I'll just add some comments of my own then. I think we're all very aware of the difficulties that have been happening in terms of getting our council homes repaired, and this new job management system is what the housing officers have identified as a need, and this system has been procured through a process, and we look forward to it making an impact. We really do need to see an improvement over the next 6-12 months. If this system can bring the positive impact that we are expecting, that will be very, very worthwhile. So, unless there's anyone else who wants to speak, I will ask the governance officer to conduct the vote. Should I read out the recommendations?
You may.
So the recommendation is that Cabinet approves the appointment of Total Mobile Limited to supply and implement its comprehensive job management system to help BMSDC implement its transformation and the strategic objectives within building services. The decision is sought subject to satisfactory agreement of terms with Total Mobile. We can now conduct the vote.
Thank you, Chair. Members, that vote is now in progress. Thank you, members. That's 5 votes for, and that's carried, Chair.
Thank you very much. That concludes the business of this Cabinet meeting. So just to say that the date and time of the next meeting is Tuesday the 14th of May at 4 p.m. here in the Council Chamber. Should be 4:30, just a correction there. 4:30 p.m. Tuesday the 14th of May. And that's it for this morning. Thank you.